Hello, I'm Rödsopp. Welcome to Rödsopp Gaming. In the prior video, I took a Zen approach to improving my skills. You know, mindfulness, attention, the whole meditation cushion. It worked partially. The knot in my shoulder is gone, but my awareness, especially of health, didn't improve the way I'd hoped. Turns out telling myself to notice things is not the same as actually noticing things. So I'm changing my framework. If spirituality won't keep me alive, maybe economics will. Oh, speaking of economics, and just like that, I've transitioned from a subsistence economy to a capital one. Now I own an asset. It depreciates with every shot. I can't replace it because I'm playing a Sulflocke. The ammo budget is whatever I can scrounge from the dead. This is what economists call progress. And having an arbiter is much more progress than, say, a snut, which will get me through caves, but not that much further. And first I have to learn how to aim this thing. And also I just got a Dunce Cap. Here's what I know. Charisma -2, move speed -50%. That's why I'm changing to sprint always. No sense of holding down the sprint key, just like always sprint, because that's what you have to do to survive. Extra jumps 4. Maybe bunny hopping will make me go faster. A little bit, but not really that much. So in a Sulflocke, you wear what the RNG provides. The game has provided me with a hat that makes me slower and, let's say, taller. Economically, this is the labor market equivalent of a master's in medieval studies. I mean, it looks impressive on a resume, but it reduces your employability. It's even less helpful in medieval health. The Dunce Cap is literally a symbol of failed education, and now it's a burden on my survival, like my goal of not being bitten. And this is where an early economic decision is going to come into play. The Dunce Cap's going to wear out eventually. The question is, do I repair it? Some players, they play the Sulflocke, you have to repair everything and use it all the time. But then something like a stiletto or a Dunce Cap is going to make your game a lot shorter. That's no fun. So I'm making the economic decision. Repairing it would restore the movement penalty, and I've done the math. I used my spreadsheet. The armor protection is worth less than the time I lose getting to cover slowly, so I'm going to let it depreciate. This is what an accountant called impairment of asset. I call it the best thing that can happen to me in a run is for the thing to break. In the meantime, I'll play around and try to get used to it. I'm getting used to the arbiter, and I'm happy to keep finding shotgun shells, but not too many. Sock. What the heck, man? So, back to the economics. The attentive viewer will notice that Zen and economics, using each framework, is really the same thing wearing two different hats. Zen says, let go of attachments. Economics says, don't overpay for things that you don't need. Or another way of looking at it is, the the mantra, don't get emotionally attached to loot, is both a Zen teaching and basic portfolio management. But the economist's version comes with a spreadsheet. And I find spreadsheets much more calming than breathing exercises. I gotta learn to reload faster. Move away. Well, I can't move away faster because of freaking Dunce Cap. Dunce Cap. It's making the lunge to protect myself more difficult. Here I am down to 3, and it ranked up. That's nice, but oh, see, ammo from the dead. Okay, took care of that. So for today's set of runs, I'm going to look at the economics of sulfur. Not because the game demands it, but because once I start a Sulflocke with no gun, no armor, no money, and a short sword, once you get in there, you realize that every decision you make is an economic one. And the first rule of economics is pay attention to what things cost, including health, especially health. Every now and then I have to try to remember which they go while I wait for the freaking ghost. Or learn that. Gotta check how much time I have. Here's a Dunce Cap move. I might get myself into trouble with this, but they're all freezing together. In theory, I can just jump off and just blast them. Where did he come from? Okay. A vendor. Here's that economic decision. I'm a sucker for Rödsopp Paste. I've had good experiences with it, but I never remember to use it. And I am kind of liking this whole jumping thing when I'm not in the middle of combat. Other than that, I just gotta work on collecting health. Because in the beginning, like when you first enter caves, you have nothing but a wakizashi and your health. That's the entire balance sheet, so to speak. Assets, one blade, and optimism. Liabilities. Everything that moves. So that edge thing usually works better, but I've got a archer out to get me I was out in the open and he just, anyway. What are you gonna do? So when you start in the first cave, you've got no food. So the first order of business isn't strategy or gun build, so though thinking about it, how this gun might improve. Or any of that. It's the oldest economic problem there is. Subsistence. Even more important than perhaps survival, because you gotta eat whether you're doing anything or not. See, now the Dunce Cap has broken itself, so I'm turning off always sprint, so I can choose to sprint. But eventually I'll find that always sprint's probably the mode I want to be in all the time, regardless of a stiletto or a dunce cap. The thing I face in the beginning of these runs is, can I find food before I die of starvation? And more importantly, this, because I don't have too much control over that, but more importantly, can I remember to eat it? Because that I do have control over, and that's my great weakness. So let's see how this thing holds up against dogs. Pretty darn good. Now there's 2 dogs in a row. The reload is kind of slow. Take out the first one. There comes the second one. Back up. And I had to melee him because I missed. I'm glad I had the shoulder pads. That's kind of interesting. So the economics you have to face in a Sulflocke is this. The economy... the economy starts at the bottom. Not with markets or vendors or price theory. Oh, I was lucky to see a vendor already. But, you know, a player in a cave, swinging a sword at things, hoping one of them drops a double cheeseburger or a power bar or a health potion or at least a soda. Dog flesh. I mean, I think you can make good things with dog flesh. Yeah, see, this is where the melee is important. My melee skills are better, but it's even better to have ammo. Hey, there's a guy with ammo. If I have money, which I do. Nice. I just want to say the red dunce cap goes better with my Santa Claus jacket than the white one, I think. It's more subtle. I think it would be more fashionable to keep it red. And I can move at normal speed, whatever speed a sock lets you move. I mean, we all know that's rule number 1. If you're gonna do something, look good doing it. So, for any economic take, I have to ask, is sulfur compatible with Marxism? No. Marxism requires 3 things. The oppressed recognize their condition, they organize, and they overthrow the structure. In sulfur, I can manage the first. I know exactly where I stand. Broke, outgunned, and paying monopoly prices for ammunition. And there's always a shortage. Except for Stiffy. I mean, he carries a good amount of ammo. I recognize my condition. Step 1, good. But step 2, organize. I'm alone. There's no one to organize with. The civilians are inert. The goblins aren't a proletariat. They're a natural disaster with teeth. They're hazards. You don't unionize with a hazard. And the vendors aren't going anywhere. There's no revolution. There's no possibility of collective action. Regardless of what kiosk says, there's a priest with a sword buying food he can't afford from vendors he can't negotiate with in an economy he didn't build and cannot change. sulfur isn't Marxist. It isn't capitalism. It isn't socialism. It's a fixed, hostile economy where the only variable is how long you last after your gun breaks. If anything, the closest economic model is company town. One employer, one store, one set of prices. Demand doesn't drive what's on the shelf. You show up, kill things, and buy things from a cartel of vendors who set prices uniformly. Adam Smith's invisible hand requires a market. This is more of an invisible fist. And the Sulflocke makes it worse. In a normal run, you could save money, store gear, build tricked out guns. You have the illusion of upward mobility. The Sulflocke strips that away. Every run starts at 0, and the economy resets when you die. It's the dismal science at its most dismal. Now that's interesting. Mosquito oil. That gives me 30% less damage, 30% less bullet speed, which I'm not too worried about if I don't keep falling off the edge of things. And this is where it comes into its own. And I have to adjust. Minus 70% chance of ammo consumption, which means I should get used to just blasting thing with one shot after another. And I haven't noticed that I need to eat. Sheriff's badge. Yeah, that's an ominous sign. I mean, it probably means snud, but fingers crossed. Pale Horse, Balthazar, Pulsar, any of those would be interesting, but I'm expecting the snud. Thankfully, I remembered to eat right there. I gotta work on that still. The economics of dying is, well, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. Once you're dead, you can't take it with you, right? So classical economics assumes that the consumer has preferences and the freedom to act on them. I have preferences. I would prefer a Fisk. I prefer not to be wearing a Dunce Cap. I would prefer a loadout that wasn't assembled by an RNG determined to kill me. But the Sulflocke chokes all that by design. The economists who built consumer choice theory assumed the consumer could walk out of the store. I can't use any ammo, so I'm gonna have to deal with a mini boss with me in the silliest way possible, and that's just to stand up high and slash down, and then when he explodes, hope I don't catch on fire too much. Okay, that's no good. Bad decision now. They burned out. Hey, that's nice. That'd be silly that they would be divided. Scroll of Plague. That's very interesting. That should work pretty good with a shotgun. Probability of hitting someone in Plague is probably pretty high when you've got all those bullets going. Oh, Mr. Hawkland. Yeah. Should I keep the crypt? 2,500. I'm not. The goal is to get far, not to do all the side quests. The ammo's The ammo is much more worth it. The money's worth it. I have enough money that I'm going to stock up on some other ammo because I'm hoping I get a gun before I get to cousin. In financial markets, risk is mispriced when the cost of an asset doesn't reflect the actual probability of it ruining you. In a Sulflocke, everything is mispriced. This is the Sulflocke's entire economic proposition: forced exposure to unhedged risk. In a normal run, you mitigate. You choose your guns, build towards strength, you store backup gear. The Sulflocke strips all of that away. You are permanently over-leveraged on a portfolio you didn't construct in a market you can't exit against risks you can't decline. The only variable is how you play, and the Sulflocke forces you to get better with the basics and the unusual. It identifies new weaknesses and amplifies the ones you already know. The risk isn't optional. The risk is the product. Everything is mispriced, so there is only the grind of learning new skills. See, Zen doesn't justify why I'm here, but economics does. I'm loading up on dynamite because I'm not going to have enough shotgun shells to deal with. Well, I mean, with mosquito oil, I might have enough shotgun shells to deal with all the guys running around in in Cousin's final boss cave. But it's easier just to sucker them all into one spot and then blow them up. I usually pick up the lung. Again, it's one of those things I think is going to be useful because if I just find some rubber, then I can create an oxygen. Whoops. Problem with the dynamite, they like to blow up if you don't get rid of it. That works pretty well staying behind those trees. So no. Okay, slowed you down. I'm doing okay with food, but an arbiter is really a study in opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the economist's way of reminding me that every decision is also every other decision I didn't make. Should I rely him? Probably. When I fire a shotgun shell or three at a time, I'm not just spending ammunition. I'm spending the ammunition I won't have in the next room, or the room after that, or the room I actually will need it, like when I get to cousin. Spaghetti bolognese, that's nice. All right. Every trigger pull is a bet that the moment that I'm in, that it matters more than every future moment. With the pistol, that bet is cheap. 9mm drops like confetti down here. With a shotgun, every shell is a small estate planning decision. So yeah, a player like Homie is good enough that he's actually planning multiple segments, not even levels, multiple areas forward. Saving sawdust to make power bars, to skip sections, and making as much health as you can with health potions and pizza. I'm not quite there yet. So looks like I'm going to be facing cousin with one gun and 39 rounds of ammo, which I use 3 at a time, so I get 13 shots. And then I have, this is bleak. I mean, this is going to test my melee, and then I have to kill all those other guys. The goblins, and thankfully no archers. Pikemen. So I'm optimizing for food to survive the caves. I mean, I wanted to create health potions for later levels or power bars to skip levels, but I can't do any of that. I think I have to maximize food because I don't know otherwise how to survive cousin. Mosquito oil, don't fail me now. This is my running around in a circle strategy. It works with almost every boss except the witch. I haven't really tried to beat the witch yet. Okay, into the safe corner. Let's get all those guys here. See if I can melee any of them without taking too much damage. Try to melee them all without taking too much damage. I can always resort to dynamite, but how'd I do? Not horrible. That's good. Mosquito oil's holding up. Next wave. Melee, melee, melee. Again, not horrible. Cousin's on his way out. Let's eat a few things here. Shotgun shells over there, that'll help a lot. Hey! A snut. Okay, so the sheriff's badge is going to pay off, but I don't, even still, I don't really want a snut. I mean, what the snut, right? Am I right? Hey, I made it all the way through caves. I just clean things up, make sure I don't eat, because my health is going to get restored once I return to church. So I just find a few extra goodies and move on. Up and out.
My druthers.
My druthers. That's nice to hear. Here's that economic decision. Do not fix the Dunce Cap. And also I have to play this. Like ammo from anywhere. I can always buy ammo, even from church vendors. Otherwise, there's no way I'm going to survive in town for more than a level. I don't know if I would even get to the first big piazza. So the RNG was clutch with mosquito oil, but it also gave me a snut. I learned that if armor's debilitating, then you just let it rot. And the limited number of shotgun shells forced me into more melee than I would have liked, more melee than I'm used to, but the point of me doing a Sulflocke. So I just detonated dynamite inside what appears to be a small business. I mean, there's a cash register. Let's pause on that. Even in a jurisdiction with no building and code enforcement, this raises questions. I had no demolition permit. I conducted no structural survey. I gave no notice to. Well, I mean, the adjacent tenants are all dead, but notice requirements generally don't include a mortality exception. The fact that the wall was crackable doesn't make it legal to crack. A lot of things break. That's not consent. Behind the wall, there was a bathroom with no door, which raises an entirely separate compliance issue. Whoever built this structure installed a restroom with lighting and Muzak that was accessible only by explosives? What about privacy? Who would use this bathroom? I believe a doorless bathroom, accessible only through controlled demolition, would fail inspections in most jurisdictions. Except hell. The owner of the establishment, assuming they exist, or perhaps they're already dead, has a duty of care to employees and customers. That I have half a mind to file a complaint, but I just blew up a wall, so my hands aren't clean. Oh, and this is not legal advice. Okay, let's switch to a narrower part of economics. Let's switch to behavioral economics, in particular the work of Daniel Kahneman. I think that is very relevant here. We've all read Thinking Fast and Slow. If you haven't, you should pause here, borrow the book from the library and read it. Or, I don't know, maybe somebody's done a TikTok on this. I don't know. It's a pretty easy read. It's easy to digest for a non-fiction economics book. Anyway, Kahneman's central framework in the book is the brain has two systems. And you see people referring to these. Oh man, I need to read those. Yeah, the melee sort of works, but I still need to work on the timing for those guys. I haven't spent enough time meleeing those. Anyway, back to Kahneman. System 1 is fast, automatic, reactive. It's what shoots the dogs. It's what dodges the snipers. It's what grabbed the loot. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, deliberate, and analytical. It's what checks the health bar, counts ammo, and plans an exit route. The problem is come on, man. Yeah, this is a bad strategy. Run away. Run away is a better strategy. Especially if you're trying to rank up a snub. Okay, I ranked it up. It took a lot of hits for that, but I ranked it up. Anyway, System 2 is supposed to be monitoring health, but System 1 doesn't share the stage well. The moment things get intense, which is, in this game, is basically always, System 1 takes full control and System 2 goes dark. I'm not just forgetting to check my health. My brain is, my fast brain, my System 1 brain is evicting my slow brain from the cockpit and not letting any control, because there's no room for both. And this is you gotta wait for those ghosts. I'm learning that lesson. If there's no combat, hang back and wait for the ghost. Don't try to push forward and fight the ghost at the same time. I'm not at that skill level yet. Yeah, there's that. Poison working. It's nice. Mosquito oil and plague. That seems to be working okay. Anyway. Shot. It's still running at me. Oh, that's going to be useful because I don't have a rock. You know, and it's big. You know, I can store it up in the speed bar, but now I have to find a rock, and then I can make a whole bunch of cotton swabs, which are going to be helpful in keeping these weapons alive. Anyway, this is exactly what Kahneman describes. System 2 requires effort. It requires effort and attention and a moment of calm. That's the training That's the training I'm supposed to be doing. Like the herbs, because then I can... Okay, confidence oil. I need to take that because in this mode of play, I just rank it up. So critical chance up by 20%, but how do you aim with this thing? It's a triple shotgun. What the heck? And the reload speed is minus 25%, which is sort of offset by the mosquito oil, but not really enough. Got to work on shooting and moving. I'm so used to an automatic weapon. I just spray everything. So this is my problem. The system 1 and 2 fighting. Health awareness, which is system 2 task. I have to look down to the bottom corner of the screen and to not walk into walls where I think there's corners. Keep getting shot. Gotta know your corners. Unfortunately, it's like a system 2 thing. Ooh, pancakes, that's nice. Well, I gotta eat a lot anyway. Start eating, people. Does anything need repairing yet other than the Dunce Cap, which I'm not going to repair? Alright. So much for making pizza. That'll become important in future. This is system 2 also, like keep track of ammo. 87's pretty good. Anyway, system 2 is it's neglected because system 1 is having fun. I mean, system 1 likes the rush. System 1 got a lot of dynamite that I didn't use in caves, so I might as well blow things up and see what another toilet. Okay, toilet paper. It's a good heal for weapons. So why not? I like the snut does shoot pretty straight. There's something to be said about that. Okay, now we're in trouble. I checking my health? I did. Because that was that moment of calm. I've got a, oh, vendor. So. So, chef walks into a bar. Chef says, ouch. It's a really old joke. Well, I had to get a joke in because I don't know how much more I'm going to live. I mean, it's going to get tougher. Weapon combination is okay, but not the greatest. Especially for someone who's used to a flock and a tricked out Fisk. I'm slow down mode. That's it. The confusion. Oh. Okay, so here's a problem. I boxed myself in the corner. I remember to eat midstream, but I didn't eat enough. And then I just forget to eat because I need to reload. Ah, come on. There it is. So here's what's helpful. Like pressing the escape key and pulling out your inventory, it gives you that calm that System 2 wants. The problem is it severely interrupts the flow of System 1, and to get my head back into System 1 from the calm after I decided, yes, I need to eat, here's what to eat. That's the challenge. Till next time.